Good day, everyone. Welcome to Perspectives in Focus, where we highlight the people, industries, ideas, and technology that are making positive strides within society. I'm your host, James Hicks from HicksNewMedia, and today my guest is Jillian Morin. Jill is a woman of many traits, many skills, many talents, but for today's discussion, we're going to focus on her being an experienced video producer, editor, and content creator. Through her agency, Creative Communicators, she helps individuals, corporations, and educational teams with their live streaming video production efforts. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about something completely outside of that scope, but we're going to bring it back into a content creation conversation. We're going to talk about the power of vulnerability and then being helpful to others. I hope this conversation is incredibly engaging and interactive. You'll see the green ribbon up there near the top right of the screen. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. So obviously the conversations that I'm having are around that particular topic. So with that, let's get into it. Hey, don't try to bite my music. I know you already talked about trying to take my beats there.
I like it.
What it do?
I might need to take that.
Don't be taking my copyrighted music and putting it, well.
Is it really copywritten though?
I don't know what it is.
Did you purchase that? That's the free stuff?
Shouts out Epidemic Sound. No, it's not free. Nothing free. Epidemic Sound. This is what we do. Jill, how are you? What it do? I like what you rocking there. Let me see what you got on there. You got on.
I got my Focus shirt, of course.
Goodness. Let's get it on. Let me get a screenshot of that there. That's all. I'm always dual layered with my stuff on there. There we go. I love it. People coming in the comments, they came to see you. They didn't come to see me.
I think it's probably a package deal.
Something like that. I tell you what, I gave a little bit of insight of who you are, what you do, but I mean, half a minute conversation, but no one else could really tell what I call their origin story better than themselves. If you don't mind, tell the folks in my community, in my audience who may not be aware of who Jillian Morin is. And first of all, shouts, I appreciate you we're actually using technology to stream this to your channels as well. So man, the power of technology, restream pairs, we're all over the internet tonight. So tell the folks who you are, if you don't mind.
So my name is Jillian Morin. I am originally a high school ESL and biology teacher, turned into a media communications coordinator, and now live streamer for different events, corporate events, competitions, a lot of sporting events, which I never expected to do because although I played softball in high school, I was really more of a band nerd. So I don't even watch sports, but over the past few years, I've gained a lot of experience in live streaming different sporting events through my role in a public school system. I also, we're streaming this to two of my YouTube channels. One's my company one, which is Creative Communicators, which is how I'm doing different live streaming projects, video production, social media support. But I'm also streaming to Miss Jill. And that is a nickname that my former students gave me like 15 years ago, and it just kind of stuck. And on that channel, I also professora de inglês. I'm an English teacher for Brazilian Portuguese speakers. So in terms of who I am, I'm like 100% right-brained, very creative. I think my biggest hobby is having all of the hobbies and doing as many things as I feel like I want to learn how to do. So, but all of those skills and all those things that I do always end up connecting with people and supporting people. I'm a true extrovert, so I get energy from working with other people, and yeah.
I love that. I appreciate that. And I'm loving seeing your community coming in and chiming in. Like I said, this is going to be a very, now see, you're going to have to do
I'll have to do some translating. William says,
T-Sol for me there, right?
William says, I'm your fan. So fun. I'm your fan. Thank you, William.
I love it. We are multinational. We're on Miss Jill tonight too, because that channel has got some history. We may go into that aspect as well. I may have you hit them keyboards back there behind you too, sing a few notes. But let's go and get focused here. Let's
Yeah.
talk about kind of the conversation. Yeah, you see how I do that. It's all
Yeah.
planned, right? I want to start with a question about vulnerability and about being helpful. I want to start with a question of, is emotional vulnerability good? And I want to ask you that, and I also want to ask the community that, and then kind of, is it good? And then what causes emotional vulnerability? Because I want to have a conversation around folks making sure that they take care of themselves, again, from a mental health perspective month, but also
Yeah.
how we can eventually find the tools within ourselves and within our community to get out of our own way and not
Mm.
be so scared, not be so vulnerable, and actually ask for assistance when necessary and need to be. So that's kind of where I want to bring it back to. So let me
Yeah.
ask you about, being vulnerable and the positive or negative nature of that.
Yeah. So vulnerability is super important and can be it's like a spectrum, right? So you can be very closed off or you can be an oversharer, but it's not even just about that. Emotional vulnerability, I think it plays a huge role in being a teacher. I was
Mm-hmm.
a high school teacher, and I felt like even students that didn't necessarily like my teaching style or didn't like the subject that I was teaching them or that were having a hard time in school, people connect with people.
Right.
And so being vulnerable about where I'm at and being real and present in whatever I'm feeling, it connects with people and makes them it's relatable, and it can be very healthy, and it can really draw in close connections. And then I also find that there are times to compartmentalize. There's different things that we
Mm-hmm.
go through. Mother's Day, for example, is a really, really difficult holiday for me. I don't have a relationship with my own mom anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really traumatic kind of separation. And it's something that's really hard. So my core friends know those things about me, and I'm open and vulnerable with that because it's good for me. It's healthy for me to be honest and authentic. But then also there are times where I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to go there right now. I'm going to put that aside, and at some point I'm going to cry my little butt off and just get it all out there. And then knowing who your safe people are is really important,
Yeah.
because there are times where being vulnerable and open about your emotional state and everything is not everybody's safe. So, I mean, being mindful of your audience and why you're sharing what you're sharing, or yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this, and that's
Yeah.
all phenomenal points there, and kind of things I want to circle back on because I want to
Yep.
peel these layers back.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable and finding a positive aspect in that, and not
Mm.
being ashamed of that, right? Actually,
Yeah.
and then also want to take that and ask you the question for the guys, because guys, we typically, unfortunately, are always the last ones to show that vulnerability, show when we need some assistance, or show when we need help, or whatever the case may be,
Mm.
and just kind of the tearing down, I think, of our health, right? In terms of not being able to have those conversations. I love the fact, and I talk to my wife about this a lot. She has her core group of friends,
Yep.
and ever since we've been together, I said, "You do you, right? I'll always go out there. I will never stall your momentum, right? You go out there and do the girls' dinners. You go out there and do the girls' trips, and I, expect that after 20 years, and she's continuing to do it. Why is it, unfortunately, that being vulnerable, being around a fellowship of people, is it so difficult, do you think, for us? I'm asking for guys. Do you think it's for
Mm.
guys to even be to that point to where we can be comfortable telling about what's going on in our life, health issues, financial
Yeah.
issues, emotional issues, things of that nature? And this is
Right.
obviously for the community as well, folks in the audience. You can definitely chime in as well.
Yeah. Um, wow. That's a lot of good questions and points.
Well, let's see.
um,
I know Keely can chime in right there. We got her in the building. She says she knows a lot of Jills, but she's here because no better than Jill Morin. So
so, okay. Vulnerability, I often interpret as honesty,
mm,
right? And there's power in being honest, but there's a lot of reasons why someone might not want to share where they're really at. Maybe it's out of consideration of the other person. Maybe it's you don't want to burden the other person. I mean, my husband works in corrections. I'm sure that he sees things some days that are heavy and are with him and are either infuriating or scary or there's a range of different things that he might see, but he doesn't want to burden me with that. And at the same time, we're all emotionally sensitive enough to pick up on those moments and those feelings and okay, something's off with so-and-so. And it's tough. I mean, I do think that guys do struggle with that. I've got, like your wife, I've got my core group I've got my 5 best, closest friends in the world. And we were all teachers together at some point. Some of us aren't anymore. I'm not anymore, but there's that safety in not needing to put on a front with any of them.
Yeah.
And so even if I'm not on my best, I'm not in my best spot, like being able to be honest with them is powerful, but it's, I don't know. I think a lot of us are used to, especially extroverts, we're used to being the like front person or the, the coach or the hype person. And, and I think that's a big part for me. That's a big part of my personality, but I don't want to be just defined by that because there's a lot of other emotions and things that I experience and go through. And I don't know. I think there's a time and a place to share different things, but the people that I respect most in my life, personally and professionally, are able to be where they're at. And whether or not they tell me all the things that they're feeling, but are able to say, yeah, you know what, I'm kind of I'm really excited about this right now, or I'm really struggling with something right now, and just being honest. Is that helpful? What I'm sharing? Yeah,
we breaking it down. We getting there. We rounded
getting there.
first. We rounded.
We're getting there.
This is a journey, right? This is like everything. This is a marathon. Let me ask you something before I get into my question here. Luke has a question that I'm gonna need some T-Sol.
Luke,
first tell everybody what I'm talking about when I say T-Sol.
T-Sol is teaching English as a second or other language. And
come on, I know these things, man. So give me some credit. Give me some credit.
James Hicks does his homework. If he's going to have a guest on, you need to be prepared for him to go there. And that comment was saying, Luke was saying, I'm also your fan. That's awesome. Thank you. Muito obrigada, Luke. Obrigada.
Go ahead. Say it one more again.
What?
Let's see. And Horace here. I got to get these. I got to get these multilingual comments out because this is some amazing stuff here. So I can't let these pass.
Então, ele falou que olá, Miss Jill, você também, sou seu fan, você é amazing, I'm also your fan, you are amazing. So, gente, é muito interessante, porque às vezes eu estou fazendo aulas like live durante o dia, mas à noite eu acho que vocês estão awake, preparado para conversar com nós. Então, awesome. Obrigada.
Man,
I was just saying.
I ain't mad at you, girl. Go ahead on. Go ahead on.
I said it's funny because I stream during the day. So like I'll do this restreaming stuff with different shows that I'm on. And if I stream during the day, I might get a couple of my Brazilian friends saying hi, but I think that they are night owls because they are here for it.
Look, everybody's in the building tonight. So appreciate everybody jumping in. Tell everybody else to come join too. Let me, again, piggyback on what you were saying about you being an extrovert, because I wonder if you feel there's a need for you to be that, there has to be someone that's kind of more outstanding, outgoing personality type A, or, kind of leading as opposed to following. And along with that, do you think that kind of contrast vulnerability with exposure and oversharing? Right. So, that person that's kind of out front, do you feel that that's a healthy thing for everyone, and, where to dial it down, or not dial it down, but where to compartmentalize that when it comes to exposure about yourself and oversharing? So now we're talking about online with technology and social media and things like that. So,
so I had a nickname in college. One of my parents called me, the sacrificial bozo. Now, That that phrase kind of stuck well, and I took it as a compliment, because by sacrificial bozo, they meant that if I was in a college course and everybody in the room was confused by what the professor was trying to break down or whatever, everybody had the question, but everybody was an adult and or a working professional. Nobody wanted to ask, so I'd be like, "No one's going to ask this. Okay, fine. Hey, can you explain this to us like we're 5 years old, because I'm totally lost." And so I often play that role of sacrificial bozo. The same goes with like if we're at a public event and I see that there's an obvious need. It could be that the presenter is choking and needs, not choking, but like clearing their throat a lot and needs some water. Or it can be that, you know what, like something just needs to be plugged in, and but you don't want to interrupt the flow. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a fool of myself, but it's for the greater good. So I do that a lot. And that's just, I'm like, I'm okay with people thinking lower of me or being like, oh my God, you're such a weirdo. But oh, thanks. That was actually helpful.
And I wouldn't think it's that.
I
wouldn't think it's looking negatively on you. But again, I think it's, you have the confidence to be that person to rise above the crowd, right? You have the confidence to be the person to, again, lead as opposed to always following. You know when to step in front or step in the middle or trail behind, whatever the case may be. And a lot of times that's difficult for folks to fit into those particular roles, right? You said you're no longer a teacher. You're always going to be a teacher. We're all teachers.
Yeah, that's true too.
And then I'm glad Lucas brought that up as well, right? We're always teaching and educating folks. That's what we do on a day-to-day basis. So, that's I think that's a skill that, can you learn that? Or, is that something that you sit in a college classroom and a professor or a TA tells you how to socialize? Right. Can you get an A+ in sociology from about how to engage and interact with people?
Yes. I don't know. I think,
but it's just book smart. Then it's just book smarts, right? You actually have to be out there in the streets and you actually have to live it and do it, I think. But
yeah, I think that see, if I get too much pride in there though, right? If I think that what me stepping up and feeling a need or not being afraid of looking like a fool, but like saving the day, like that can get a little awful as well. I don't know. Something that it's funny. We're talking about mental health and we're talking about emotional health and vulnerability and all of these things. And, I feel like in the past couple of years, I've gone through a lot of changes, and I would like to think growth, but sometimes when you grow, you like fall and just like ruin everything and you just suck at everything, so that's part of that, which is really super fun. But being less concerned about people's opinion of you is something that I think we all need to do, but I especially really need to do, because I do love people and I want to be helpful and I want to fill needs and stuff like that, but I don't need to always be that person. I don't always need to step up. There are times even like where I would neglect my own needs to fill those other more public needs, or somebody else's, even someone I don't even know well, sacrificing my time and my energy. And so I think we can go too far with these things. If my identity is rooted in people's opinion of me, then that's pretty scary should those opinions change. And you can't control what people think of you or whether people are really going to like you or not. And so it's like trying to know yourself and identify, like, I heard some podcast. Actually, I should pull it up because you would really like it and it's amazing. And a friend of mine wrote it, a book, an Audible book. I'll pull it up in a little bit. Andre Henry. Anyways, he was talking about anger. And, when you're really angry and when you're really passionate, like that anger doesn't need to be a bad thing. But if you're really upset about something that's said or done, or that you're like down on yourself, you're disappointed in yourself, well, there's a root of that can be really, really helpful. That means that something that's really important to you, something that you could give a TED talk on, that you could really speak to, is in jeopardy or is being attacked or is not valued and stuff like that. So
I love it. I love it.
I think
Oh, we round a
being
second now.
vulnerable.
See, I saw kind of the light in your eye go off when you were talking, and you were like, "Okay, I see where James is trying to take this,"
Yeah.
and you like you got it. I love that. Let me bring up this next one here. Help the old guy out.
Saudades das lives que você fazia com os alunos. So William's saying that he misses the live streams that I used to do where I would have a student come on. So James, just for my viewers, I'm gonna have to be a teacher here for a second.
Okay, I'm gonna put you
All
full
right.
screen so you can go in and
No, no, no. I
pull
need
out your
you.
red pen. Pull out your.
I need you. I need you.
Okay, let me
All
sit
right.
up
So
straight then.
you're gonna learn a phrase.
Okay.
Gente,
Oh my
eu
God.
vou dar aulas de português agora com ele, tá? Okay. Oh, meu Deus do céu. Okay.
Am
So
I supposed
you're
to learn
gonna
that?
say
Oh,
no.
okay. Man, come on, man. I'm at 70% of health right now. I can't barely remember my last. Okay, go ahead. Let's go.
All right. So you're just gonna say oi,
Oi,
tudo bem.
tudo bem.
Perfect. That's saying, hey, what's up? Oi, tudo bem.
Sylvia Nixon, that's gonna be on the next T-shirt. Shouts out Preston. So that's gonna be in the 2023 collection. Oi, tudo bem. Yeah.
Oi, tudo bem. Good job.
Listen, look at. I'm getting some props from the people in the room. Love it. I love it. Let me and so this actually feeds into my next question or my next statement. And again, folks, if you've got questions or comments and you want to interject, please type it in. I'd love to have this be very, very engaging with you as well. The importance of the human connection, right?
Yeah.
These last couple of years when the world stopped, right? Not just paused, or not just California, not just the East Coast, but the entire planet kind of stopped, and we lost that human connection, right? That was detrimental to a lot of folks. Again, from a mental perspective, that caused a lot of negativity from a vulnerability perspective as well. When we finally got to go out a little bit, see each other, like in San Diego and things like that, it was almost like nothing changed, nothing happened. It's like we had known each other for years. It was just instantaneous click. So talk about the whole, social, emotional, personal, and professional need for the human connection, especially after going out of the pandemic, out of the lockdown, to where we are now, and how that translates into the stuff that you do for your business, for creative communicators. There we go. See, I sent you some notes, but you didn't know I was going in a whole different direction today.
I did know. I like it. I'm here for it. This is real talk, man, I just remember first we got to get sad, right? I remember the Sesame Street episode that they did right at the beginning of COVID, and I was sitting with my kids on the couch, and they did this special thing talking about COVID and talking about, socially distancing and stuff like that. And the heaviness and the burden that I felt, and the loss that I felt from those human connections, but also for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. It seems like so long ago, and then it wasn't that long ago at all. So to go from living your normal life, not even thinking about whether you can hug your friend or not, to then being totally having everything taken away and then rebuilding it in a weird, pensive, 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of way. It opened up some different things. It caused people to look at their priorities. I feel like I really grew as a person, as a mom, thinking about like, okay, so let's say I can't be friends with everybody. I can't go out and have all these crazy, amazing social things, but what's really the most important? Relationships and everything. Mm-hmm. And now as things have started to open up, some of the people that got me through, like being able to do what I could do, video production and social media and even teaching, I had to get so many skills so quickly. So I found a really, really great community in the eCam live community. And that was really amazing because that started to build relationships that really were founded in, hey, we all need to get through this. Mm-hmm. We're all experiencing something that's crazy that hopefully nobody has to go through again. But we're not just going to sit here and wait for it to go away. We don't know what the answers are, but we need to pivot. We need to pivot and adjust.
It's like a drinking game.
So, yeah, I know. But there were so many people. I think some of the reasons why I got so close and started to do so much collaborative work with people virtually is because I found that these relationships were also like, there wasn't a lot of fluff. We weren't like just, hey, how's your week? Good. How are you? Oh my God, my kids are so busy. I'm like driving them to all the events. It's just like totally wearing me down. It's like, if we're meeting, we have a plan, we have intentionality, we're getting things done, and either I'm helping you or you're helping me, or, there's just like this different kind of drive. So, there were skills and things that I didn't think I really needed to improve or that I really knew about, but that time gave us those skills. So now what's really important to me, and how it relates to the work I'm doing, is like promoting all of the great things that people are doing. And whether that's in person or virtual. I mean, we've got graduation season coming up. The superintendent of our school said, hey, if you don't want to live stream graduation this year, you don't have to. We can pass it off to someone else. And I was like, listen to me. You're not going to take that job away from me. I'm doing it. And you know what? It's going to be the trickiest year. You know why? Because we're going to have the entire band play, and we're going to have an a cappella choir play, and we're going to have a solo sing with the musicians, and we're going to have multiple cameras. Like, it's going to be very tricky, and anybody that live streams, all those things I just said are going to super be triggering to you, because that's a lot of audio fun. And yes, I have a sound engineer, but like having to problem solve all of that. But I'm thrilled to do it because I want to give those seniors that moment that they've been waiting to have, that they didn't know if they were going to be able to have. They can sing live. Let's do it. Let's do whatever we need to do to make it happen.
That's cool. Right.
And then like professionally, there's a lot of businesses that are now starting. They went from fully in person, which we didn't even have a word for it there. It was just normal life, right?
Yeah.
To fully remote, to now hybrid. But realizing, But you know what? There are people and there are folks that can't go to some of these normal things, and they need to catch it on the replay, or they need to join on their phone. I've got 4 young kids, and I'm really grateful when there's an event that I like to be at, but I can't be, but I know they're going to stream it, because I can be waiting for Elizabeth to get out of dance class and watching the special presentation for middle schoolers on my phone. So some of these things are never going to go away, and they're only going to be more important and more relevant and more normal. So to be on I'm glad that you and I and a number of people in the community kind of got into it early and now feel comfortable to facilitate those things, because it is people connections. It is. I would argue that some of the relationships I've developed over the last few years are deeper than some relationships I've been superficially floating for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because it was, we say this word a lot within, again, this community of content creation. We talk about intentionality, but we were almost forced to pause, forced to stop and kind of take accountability of what really mattered. Right. It made us actually say, these are the folks that are one in my circle. This is the community I want to vibe with. These are the folks who I want to have on an IM message with and talk to about all of these different things, not just technology, but about life a lot of times as well, because we're so geographically displaced. Now, the fact that, again, so we talked about vulnerability, and now we talked about the human connection and how you're doing that with business, and how you're going to be streaming the graduation, showing the emotion piece of that, right? So that, I think, is also going to be a very interesting challenge for you, just in a video production world, to show the emotion of the event, of the kids singing, the kids dancing, the guy streaking down the aisle when he gets his diploma.
If that happens,
whatever's going to happen, right? I don't know what's going to happen, but those kinds of things are really to the second part of today's conversation, about being helpful, about not just being vulnerable, knowing those vulnerabilities and being able to express those in a positive manner, but being helpful by producing those and showing that to the people who can't be there. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Let me get back into some of these comments because again, we got some more stuff that I'm trying to learn here. Luke, what you bringing out here, Luke? What you?
Luke said, realmente é muito difícil aprender outro idioma. He said, really though, it's really hard to learn a second language. Mas sei que é possível, but I know that it's possible. And then he said, Jill é muito boa nisso. Jill's really good at this. Obrigado, viu?
Jill will be
One of
sending
these days
checks
I'll get
tomorrow. You know, put your PayPal, put your buy me a coffee in there. She's gonna be sending you.
Marcos, boa noite. Thank you for being here. Marcos says, good evening, everybody.
Love it. My man, Mr. Stewart in here with the oid. Was it the tutu pain? No, you don't act like you know. Was that right? See, I already don't remember. Oh my God.
You got it.
Okay.
Mark don't got it, but you got it.
No, he's spelling it the wrong way. You got the wrong enunciation on the you got the enunciation on the consonant and not the vowel. Come on, we got to get this right.
Emphasis on the wrong syllable. Yeah.
Yeah, see, and Keely knows about that mic complexity you're talking about.
For the graduation.
Being out there. We were all, as you were saying that, that's why I'm starting to sweat a little bit, right, man? That sounds like that could just be intense and incredible. So, Mr. Cameron, good to see you, brother. Thank you, Luke, man. Give me some, cut me some slack.
Yeah.
Brother. Cut me some slack. All right. COVID-19 got your boy. So I'm trying to come back to the world here.
So kudos to you for continuing. Listen, you can't do it to the point that you're like getting worse, right? You know, you don't want. You're important, but you're not that important that that you miss a stream if you have to, if you're sick,
That's
self-care.
That's true.
But also kudos to you for pushing through because,
thank you.
Not everyone would do that. Some people, I'm not going to say the man flu. I'm not going to go there. But I do know a number of guys be like, I don't know if I can just do it. I just feel so awful. Now, COVID's the real thing. I've had it twice. It's not fun.
Yeah. I'll keep going until body parts start falling off, right? I mean, so until then we know we got a problem. Then my dad's in the audience. We're gonna have to go to Kaiser if stuff starts falling off. So, but until then, everything is good. Let me move and ask about. We talked about vulnerability. We talked about helping folks. I want to know about can that vulnerability can that be a strength? Right. And where can we find strength in asking folks to assist us and either asking folks or being the one that actually helps others by being vulnerable to say, you know what, I don't know what I don't know and I should get out of my own way. Right. For one, why is there an issue with that? I say that a lot. People need to get out of their own way. So is there strength in vulnerability? And let me stop there. Let me ask that. Let me just have the conversation there.
Yeah. I was just talking to Katie from Ecamm Katie. She's my girl. I was talking to her yesterday and I was talking about the importance of your reputation. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business lead, or if you're an intrapreneur, if you're the communications coordinator for a school district, you don't just represent yourself, you represent the whole school. Whatever your work is, whatever you're doing, it's really important to be honest about what you do and what you don't know. Because I have been, did I just go out?
Oh my goodness, she's gone out, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh no.
You were doing that yesterday, doing your...
No, give me 1 second.
Little pause for the cause here.
Pause for the cause.
You could sing, right? While you have these technical issues.
Here, you just talk for a second because it's going to be weird if I'm like.
It's all good. No, so I'm trying to have the conversation, and folks, definitely please chime in as well. Just wanting us to get comfortable with stepping back, asking for assistance when we don't know the answers, and really being comfortable with saying when you don't have all of the answers, and having that sphere of influence, that circle of confidants, right, that you can call on when you need help, again, professionally, personally, whatever the case may be. And a lot of times, for some reason, I'm gonna lean towards the guys again. Why is it that we don't do that? And if we do that, what were the icebreakers that you utilized to get over that hurdle, to get, again, as I keep saying, get out of your own way, right? I would love to see some of the folks in the audience, Luis, Mark, Luke, some of the guys talk about, Keely, you too, right? Just folks talk about the, oh my gosh, where are we pointing at now?
Sorry. 1 second. Hold on.
This is going to be a great live. I'll cut it up. It's all good. But again, just asking for tips and tricks, tips and ideas, techniques that you utilize to be successful from a personal and from a professional perspective when it comes to, again, getting out of your own way, being vulnerable, and knowing that you can't do it all alone, right? No one does anything that they do successfully. I really don't think that they can do it all alone. You have to have kind of a core group of folks and not a whole bunch of acquaintances. Look, I'm not about that. I'm about really having a core group of cats that you just reach out to on a continual basis and kind of your confidant. So what you do, you reboot the machine there. I can't say it's a PC because we're running eCam, so I know you're running a Mac. But
no, it's I've been having issues with my ZVE10. Tell Doc, I've been having issues where it's plugged in. That should be good, but then it just craps out. I don't know if it's overheating. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but there maybe it's a bad dummy battery there. I don't know. I'm running full frame now, so I got rid of that. I'm running the okay. Yeah. Where did I leave off? I don't know. So we were talking about being vulnerable and telling when you don't know. So this has been that's been, and then my battery died, and I don't know why my camera died. I have told potential clients that they should not work with me on specific projects because I knew that what they needed was something that I couldn't deliver on yet, or I didn't really have the time. I could do it, but then I'd have to outsource somebody to help me with it. And I didn't have the time or the flexibility in my schedule to be able to meet that need and do it well. So, and those clients that I've had those conversations with, I am really confident that they have respected that. But then when they do need me for something else, that they know that I'll give them my honest opinion, and that they can count on me for what they can count on me on. So, I mean, I am all about not overselling yourself or not saying yes if you can't say yes, because it's only going to blow up in your face later. And it's more important. Your reputation is more important than saying yes to every single job that comes your way.
So is that because of a resource allocation? You just didn't have the time, or you didn't have the skill set, do you think, to do it?
Yes.
And did you make that distinction to the potential client?
Yes. So, I mean, I probably err on the side of being over vulnerable or like, I might shoot myself in the foot because I'm saying, you know what? I don't think that that's worth your money do you really need to stream to Facebook and YouTube? I mean, there's a lot of different things where I try to make sure I know who my client is, what their number one priorities are. And if there's something that I would charge for that I don't think that they really need, I'll just let them know, I really don't think that that's going to benefit you, or that might be a stumbling block, or that's going to be more complicated. Is that something that's the really biggest priority? Because if not, man, I think that you'll be able to save money and time by doing it a different way. So that type of honesty and vulnerability might lose you a gig, but you're going to gain a client long term.
Yeah, you're going to win in the long run. So there we go. See, we're bringing it back to exactly kind of the conversation that I wanted to, and I love that, and I like what Luis was saying here. Share your story and learn to be a good receiver. Don't deny people a chance to bless you. Go ahead, man. Come on, Mr. Camera Junkie. God, dog, that's a good one. So when you tell folks that, again, I'm not available, I can't do it right now, and what's kind of that initial reception that you get? Is that she doesn't want to work with me, or do you think that they take it positively as you
understand? Okay. Yeah. I mean, so for me, I'm in a unique position right now because I'm not full-time running my business. I have a full-time job and then I'm running my business on the side. So off the bat, people know that about me. Even you can tell on my LinkedIn profile that most anybody would be like, man, you got a lot of things going on. So I'm not out there trying to get those huge bids and clients, and because I can't. And I've got a really sweet thing with this school district, and it's something that I love doing. And I'm on year 1 of a 3-year contract, so I'm gonna keep riding that out. You know what I'm saying?
Keep riding it.
So so I think I don't know. Like, I think even people I've hired to do different things with, when they're honest with me about their time or their expectations or what they can and cannot do, yeah, it just like makes me feel so relaxed. Like, okay, great. Thank you so much. But one thing I hate, and I've been guilty of it, is like, oh yeah, we can probably do that. Yeah, totally. Oh my God, that sounds awesome. Yeah, let's totally do that. And then it's like, hey, remember that thing you said we were going to do, or that project you said that you were going to take this long form content and make me great shorts, and you said you're going to turn that around real quick. I don't see those videos.
So now you're talking about setting
it makes
expectations,
it weird,
right?
Right.
So now, okay.
Yep. And so, and I used to be very quick to volunteer for all the things. And then I couldn't deliver on any of the things. Or I would deliver on all of the things and then hate myself for it. And my own health is going down the drain. I'm frustrating my husband. I'm not there for my kids the way I need to be. I'm overeating fast food. And so I'm feeling chunky monkey. And then I feel bad about myself. And then what do I do? Well, I've got ADHD too. So like my dopamine's level low. So I've got to chase the dopamine. So then I got to volunteer to do more things because I get all of that public praise from all those people because I was the one that came in.
It's just
and
a
I
weird
saved the day.
It's that domino effect, right? And how do you, so now here's the teachable moment, teacher.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get out of that negative cycle? How do you, so here's the tips that I would love for you to give to the community and the people listening and watching, right? What are some of those best practices, tips, steps that help you to either not go down that path and not get in that cycle or stop yourself before you get too far in that cycle?
Yeah. So I was raised in a culture of let your yes be yes and your no be no. And I just like never took that advice most of my life, which is fun for me. But in the last few years, I feel like I've been getting very good about saying no. So before you say yes, just say, wow, that sounds like an awesome project. I'd love to learn more about it. Things are a little tight right now. Or like if you really don't think you have the time for something, but you don't want to say no to something that could be really life-changing or actually very easy for you to execute on, and it's worth your time, and it's worth your investment. Just being honest about your real availability and be slow to say, yes, absolutely, I can do that for you. And then evaluate put down on paper all of the things that you're doing and then decide what your return on investment is. And it's not all about time and money, but it seems like most of the things we say yes to are either directly linked to giving you more time or taking away your time or giving you money or charging you money. So like one thing I used to do is I told you at the beginning of this, or maybe before we started streaming, I have my hobbies is like collecting hobbies. I like everything I see. Like TikTok is dangerous for me because I'm like, ooh, knitting. I could knit. No, I don't have time to knit. I'm not knitting. I'm never going to do it. Enough.
You're going to buy some knitting needles tonight, aren't you? You going to, what's the store, Michael's?
I'm on Amazon. I'm going to Michael's.
You're going to go on Amazon and you're going to have them delivered tomorrow. Oh my God. What we going to do?
I'm a Prime member. But like really evaluating, just because you can do something does not mean that you should do something. So I found when we bought our new home, I found this beautiful piece of furniture that was on the side of the road for free. So I had my brother-in-law who had a truck bring it to my house. And then my husband was immediately annoyed because we got this brand new house and I'm filling it up with a whole bunch of crap that he doesn't even get a say on, which is not fair. It is not fair. But also let me do the thing, but also but I was being a jerk. But then I spent all of this time sanding it and painting it. And I do love that piece, but I will never do that again. because I think about minimum. Okay, this is going to sound a little cocky here,
Come
but
on.
minimum, I get paid $100 an hour for anything I do, minimum. So if I'm gonna spend 6 hours doing that, I could have bought a brand new beautiful one, had it installed in my house where I want, and have it last for years and years and years. And there's a time and a place to get crafty, and then there's a time to be like, wow, like I have my groceries delivered to my house now.
Go
I
ahead.
don't go grocery
Hey,
shopping anymore.
listen, we started doing that too since the whole house was man.
Game
Come on
changer.
now. Safeway just rolled up to the house. I was like, I can do
Yep.
this, and it's not. You don't charge me.
Yep.
Y'all don't know. Y'all better get on this
Even
bandwagon.
okay, so I tip, like, let's say I have to pay a driver's fee, and so let's say it's an extra $30.
Yeah.
It's worth it. That's a half hour of my time.
My gosh, you never get that back. It's price versus cost. I say this a lot as well, right?
Yeah.
It's worth it, right? It's just you get what you pay for too. My dad listening right now, he knows. Again, I've said that a lot of times too, folks. You get on this bandwagon. My Central Coast and my East Coast. What is it? The Piggly Wiggly? Is that the one out there on the?
We don't have a Piggly Wiggly up here in Massachusetts.
Where my Texas folks at? Knowing about the Piggly Wiggly. Over here we got Rayleigh's and Safeway, but Vaughn's. Come on, okay, we got going down another path.
No.
I love this.
Be like evaluating
Yeah.
how you're spending your time, and like, I know for me, we grew up in a really conservative Christian household, and everybody was volunteering at the church, like way too much. And I might not be a popular opinion, especially given some of our followings and very, people that I used to work in the ministry. I was a worship director for a year at a church, so I get it. But I've just seen marriages go down the drain, and I've seen a lot of unhealthy expectations put on even young kids, and pressure that you need to be doing this. You're not doing enough of this. You need to be doing this. This is, and purity culture. There's a whole bunch of other baggage we could
we got 2 or 3 more episodes we're gonna do, folks. Make sure you check out Ms. Jill's page, because we're gonna be streaming on her page and my page at the same time again when we have episode 2, 3, and 4 talking about
spiritual
all that stuff.
Trauma. So with volunteering, it's really important, because you know what, if you are well known and respected in this community, whatever your community is, if it's at your job, if it's at your church, if it's in some social organization, whatever, if you're like getting that like praise and your identity's there, and then you're really dropping the ball at home, or just with yourself. Let's say that you come home, you're on this high, you feel so good, my public opinion is this, and you come home and you're really like depressed, and like those external things and the roles that we play in those different relationships and organizations might be beneficial, but it sometimes it's superficial. And so it's not going to give you the depth that you need. And honestly, mindfulness, being present, understanding, what relationships are toxic and not. I've lost a lot of friendships over the years. Not lost. I have decided to not invest.
Reevaluate it, right? Who's important and who is less important. I'm not going to say anyone's not important, but you just, again, kind of like while you were fixing your camera, that's kind of what I was saying. Keep that tight circle close to you, as opposed to having a whole lot of acquaintances all the time. And it's not a bad thing. It's not. I really don't think it's a bad thing.
No, and I'm the number one person that like you and I, we could after this stream ends, we could, like, just because of our different lives, like, not chat for a couple months, and then see each other and be like, hey buddy,
I'm gonna see you in Dallas. We gonna act a fool.
So there's value in that. And you know what? I am an extrovert. I get energy from people. I love being around a lot of people, and superficial, like, intro relationships doesn't mean that they're shallow. Like, superficial doesn't mean shallow even, So there's value in those type of relationships, but in terms of true vulnerability, not having to worry about what you look like, what you sound like, where your headspace is at, and people that you can say, "Hey, I'm not okay. I'm not doing okay." You
Look
know,
out for yourself.
I've got 4 or 5 people that do that for me, and yeah.
There you go. There's the bringing it home. So now we rounded third. Now, hopefully, folks,
We skipped second.
we
Did
skipped
we go
third.
past
Well,
second when I was
you
fixing my
stole
camera?
second. Yeah, you stole second when
I
your
stole
camera
second.
broke. But yeah, but there was method to the madness, folks, and trust me, we went where I wanted to go, and Jill knew an idea, but it just happened to work out, which is cool. Really wanted to have that conversation about the importance of that human connection, for one, the importance of knowing when you are emotionally vulnerable, identifying that, and knowing how, when, and who you can reach out to, right? And the importance of that. And then once you identify those aspects, helping yourself and then knowing when and where you can help others as well, putting yourself around a good community, around a good core group of individuals, or whatever the case may be, to where you can be of service. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. The folks like that we out here, we're doing all this content creation. It's a phenomenal occupation. It's a phenomenal hobby. It's a phenomenal job, whatever. But really, we don't do this for ourselves. We do this for the community to hope that you got some value out of the conversation and can actually sit back and say, you know what? Oh, they didn't talk once. We only talked once about cameras because we were making fun of Jill's, but we didn't talk about lights and cameras and no disrespect to those that do, but again, raising the level of conversation to make sure that you actually get some value out of what it is and that you can take it and use it in your day-to-day basis. So talk to us about Creative Communicators.
Creative Communicators.
Yeah.
So I started Creative Communicators with my sister, actually. Years and years ago, I had just finished my master's degree in teaching English as a second language. I was loving high school teaching, but I had a lot of ideas in terms of curriculum writing that could help people learn English as fast as possible. I worked with a startup company out of New York that was designed to teach English as a second language to specifically Brazilian Portuguese speakers. And as you've seen in the show, Eu Falo Português, estou aprendendo português. I'm learning Portuguese. I love languages. And so we paired up with this startup, and the startup failed, and it crushed us as participants. But through that one project, I was able to learn how to be a UX designer, because truly we were starting from scratch, and on-screen talent. It's not a big deal. And then I did a ton of script writing.
You've done a little bit of everything, is what you're saying.
Design, a little bit of everything. And so I started that with my sister when we were working with that startup. And then from there, she moved overseas, and then I took it back, and I've been playing around with it. We just launched this website with the help of JP High Tech. So that is still slightly under construction. There's some things, some different wordsmithing I'm going to be working on. But yeah, so I decided it was important for me to have an LLC so I could separate the work that I was doing. I mean, for tax purposes, for so many reasons. Like if I was starting to do, especially video production, my God, you have got to have some separation between the personal work that you do and your professional work.
Yes.
Otherwise, people are, you're vulnerable when you're doing this type of work. So having a financial advisor, we worked with a lawyer to set up the building of the company to make sure that it encompassed everything that we did. And so, yeah, it was important for me to have a business. I'm not sure, who knows, 5 years, 2 years down the road, maybe I'm full on in this, or maybe I'm not. Maybe it's just an umbrella that I'm able to kind of work under, but I wanted to be able to have my own business. And there you go.
I love it. And this is really still this whole industry is kind of still at an infancy, right? I mean, forget Teams, forget Zoom, forget all of what we thought about video production, remote production, forget all of that other stuff. This world is really starting to really take off, and high quality organizations and agencies who know how to do live streaming, who know how to do the consulting on screen and off screen talent, music production, all of that. You kind of the
Yeah.
whole ball of wax. So this is going to be a long term thing for sure. This is amazing. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Listen,
Thank
Jill,
you.
you we did it, right? You-
We did it.
I
Lo
brought you.
hicimos. We did it.
I brought you on here. You didn't know what you were going to be in for.
Well, I will say you are a storyteller in your interview questions.
Hmm.
And so I was like, okay, when James is talking, I'm like, okay, pay attention. He just asked six different things. I think he meant this. But it's good. But my brain it was a lot, but I was really thankful because we were brainstorming about this, right? And you knew you wanted to have me on again as a guest, not
Of
a big
course,
deal.
of course.
And for me, like I was in no matter what we were going to talk about, but I was like, man, there are so many things I don't know about the tech thing in life. Like I know a lot. I don't want to downplay. Like I know what I'm doing. Definitely hire me for all of your expensive, high paying gigs. I mean, for sure. Why wouldn't you?
Minimum
And if I
$100 an hour. Yeah,
just saying,
just saying.
um, just saying. But I was really looking forward to having a real talk conversation, because we're more than what we produce.
Mm,
Um,
hmm.
I'm I'm it's easy to get pigeonholed or to feel like you're this one persona. Like who I am on Miss Jill is 100% who I am, but but it is a part of who like
Yeah,
I just canceled what I was saying. But when I don't know, we
it's
are
hard to live
interesting,
up to
complex
the
people.
yeah, it's hard to live up to the hype sometimes, right?
Yeah,
Especially if you put that pressure on yourself. I can only imagine that you have to
there I
fix your
go.
camera. One, you got to fix your camera, and why you fix your camera.
I'm
Living
just gonna be
up
real close.
to the instance where you were singing with Pink, right? Living up to
Oh,
that, living up to the viral videos of your
mm,
your your baby announcements, right? Living up to those things and doing those so early in
yeah,
your content creation career, right? As opposed to having that gradually move into that
yeah,
direction. But you did that kind of right out of the gate, just a iPhone or a phone video, one
yeah,
announcing the sex of my kid, and then next thing you know, you're at a concert singing with Pink. I,
yeah,
nowhere to go except plateau from there, right? I'm not gonna say down, but that's pretty cool.
right,
And again, getting out of your own way and understanding that you don't have to be that person all the time. You can just
right,
be you, and then you can be helpful. You can be helpful to others that are looking to get to that goal, get to that milestone, because you've been there.
yeah,
You know where to avoid and pivot and watch out for
yeah.
potholes and things like that. So,
And
yeah,
like, you know, my favorite people to watch on TikTok or YouTube or whatever are people that are multi-talented or have that are dynamic, you know, and that don't feel like they need to be a certain way all the time. Because everybody has good, I mean, there's this one girl I follow on TikTok, I can't remember her name, but she does this thing in her intros where she's always like, "Hello my little snuggle buddies," and she always starts like that and then she gives these positive messages. And I'm like, oh, I just want to always cut off the first 5 seconds of her videos because I'm like, I like you, but just stop doing that. And anyways, she went on a rant the other day about a political topic, and I was like, ooh, I just like wanted to reach through the phone, just grab her face, and be like, yes, this is what I love. And I don't want to hold her to either of those extremes.
yeah,
And so, yes, people ask me about my YouTube channel, and they're like, oh, how do you get 30,000 subscribers? I'm like, well, I was in a viral video, and then I had this other cool thing happen with Pink. Oh, and then I became friends with somebody else on YouTube, with a really big YouTuber that really shot up my subscribers. But I give myself permission to be interested in all the things that I'm interested in, but be more conscious of my time. So like on my Miss Jill channel, I don't post a lot there because right now I can't. And that's okay. And even though some people in that community and the professional ESL teachers that have like millions of subscribers, they're always like, Jill, oh my God, just play the piano more. You can do any video, just be consistent and you'll grow, you'll grow, you'll grow. And I don't doubt that. Like if I'm getting that advice from people that have done that and they see
yeah.
that in me, I don't doubt that, but it's not the season for that. And that's okay.
That is growth
So
right there. I mean, that is
yeah,
awareness, self-awareness right there. I love that. Yeah.
because just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Say
And
that again.
just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should.
Mr. Cameron, can
And
you hear that? That's good, huh? I'm gonna let you put that on your next shirt, brother. I got the other one, but you can put that on your next shirt, man. Before your other camera goes, and listen, we already struck out twice. I'm not gonna let you strike out three
it's the
times.
Sony. I blame Doc.
Blame
when in doubt, call Doc out.
That's it. I'm not even gonna switch scenes here because I don't know what's gonna happen if I switch to another scene. I don't know what we're looking at right now. We're looking at your phone or something.
Wait. Put yourself up over that white light, because over there is like all of the mess that I was like hiding. Where's that?
You want me here?
Better-ish. I don't know.
What do you want me? You want me here? Hold on. You want me there?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Say something about the stingers. You see all the little graphics that I put in place there for you.
I like it.
Now I'm rambling. Jill, I appreciate you. Okay, I really want to say that I want to give you these flowers while I can, while I got you online. This is an amazing conversation. Been waiting to do this right, and have the conversation at the right. There is no right time, but I wanted to be ready, and I was waiting for your voice to be back. And I know you had some things.
That's
I was
right.
being cognizant of that. And this conversation really mattered. And again, with it being Mental Health Awareness Month, helps as well, because again, the conversation, hopefully it touched someone to just again pause and think about what they're doing in life, to say, I'm gonna be open to communicating. I'm going to be open to understanding my vulnerability. I'm going to be open to finding folks around me that can help me, because I don't know everything. So, with that being said, you be good.
And sorry.
No, come on. I just don't want the camera to blow up again, right? That's, I'm worried about you. We can go, because we streaming. I'm recording to the Mac Studio. I got all kind of storage space.
I think. So there have been times where I have been I didn't know that it was anxiety, but obviously it was, where I've been super anxious, feeling like, you know what, I need to go on LinkedIn. I need to do the right type of job search, because like I'm making good money now, but I could do even more, because people said that like they see that potential in me, or I like, it's all pride, but it's also fear and pressure and comparing ourselves to other people. So I think all of us in the community, in the live streaming world, and like, it's true. All the people say it. Just when you stop trying to force things to happen, when you stop trying to force those doors to open, they open up. There's wisdom in that, because you see people when they're like on the grind, or they're on the tear. They're like, I'm going to do this, and I can do this. And like, you probably can. And like, it's good to be intentional. Like, if you are all about waking up every day at 5:30 and going through your healthy routine and being super productive, do it. More power to you. Like, do things that are healthy for you to do, but don't compare yourself to other people, and don't compare yourself to the people that don't know you that well and their perception of who you are. Right? Because just like I said, people that are like, oh, you should really lean into the Miss Jill channel, or you should really lean into running people's social media. I manage a few different people's social media. Like, you could do this, and you could do this, and you could do this. I have those voices in my head without the external people saying that. And people are well-intentioned. And it's so lovely that people like, man, I see this skill in you. I just want to encourage you in that. And if you wanted to sell courses, you could, and you should, because you would just do so well. And that's so good. But we need to be careful on what we really take in and what we do with that, because I don't know, there's a season for everything. And, I look at my dad. I respect him so much. He's owned his own business for 40 years. And he's still on the grind a little bit. And it's got to be hard to retire, especially when like you own your own thing and it's such a close part of you, Innovative Handling Systems, the conveyor guys, is like synonymous with Ken Roberts, and
I love it.
that's great, but I want to take my kids on adventures, uh and I want to go to Legoland soon. I want to go to, maybe we'll go to Disney World. There's some things I want to do that are more meaningful than me getting that extra $10,000 this year, which is really going to end up being $5,000 because of taxes. And then and how many hours did I spend on that I'm never going to get back? So I don't know. It's it's good to slow down and to take a look at it all and to evaluate why you're doing what you're doing, and take those compliments from people in your community and like take it in, breathe it in, and appreciate it for what it is. But don't think that that is the assignment for you. I mean, God, I know you didn't attend the social media marketing conference itself. You were just there for like hanging out
I
with
was just
me.
there to hang out with y'all.
Which I totally understand, totally worth every penny for sure. But I walked away from that conference split because it was so good and I learned so many things. And oh my gosh, my little orange notebook, I'm still combing through it and being like, okay, I need to apply this. And oh, that's right, I don't want to forget about that. That's a really good, useful tool. But I also left there being like, oh man, I have so much I need to do. And I have to do that now. And I'm the only one that can do that. And I'm so amazing. I totally could do that. And like, like
brain explodes.
And then I came back, right, But you know what? Every Wednesday I live stream with Ecamm Katie from 4 to 5.
Yeah.
And that's a voluntary thing. Like I don't get paid by Ecamm for that, but it's an important thing for me to continue, like that on my list of things that I volunteer to do, maintaining that relationship, giving back to the Ecamm community, saving people time and money by me saying, yeah, you know what? I bought that and that. I like this better. Maybe it'll be helpful for you if I share that. And like, so those things, that's one thing on the list that I will continue to give back and volunteer for because it benefits other people and it gives me life. And Ecamm's been really good to me, so I want to be good to them.
There you go. And it matters to you. So, I mean, definitely keep doing it. And I love what we got right here, right? Fall in love with the journey and not the destination.
Oh, that's nice.
There it is right there.
He's got all the good one-liners.
Well, see, he's a late night guy too, right? He's probably getting ready to scream at like midnight or something. I don't know. He's probably setting up some new gear. He can probably help you out.
Well, Luis, don't ask me to join you because apparently my cameras all have.
Yeah, you all
30 minutes. I don't know. Honestly, I guarantee it's a user error because I've been using that Sony for more video production outside of live streaming. When I just had it set up as my live streaming spot, it was great. And then I, went to try to maximize the money I spent on it and use it for other things. Now I done messed up.
You didn't tow it up now. You didn't listen. Listen. I better straighten up to Pastor Felicia in the building. Pleasure to have you here.
Talk about giving back and being a sweetheart.
Yeah, you're gonna have to check the replay because we talked about some good stuff. Jill, be good to yourself, right?
You too.
Take care. Let's. I think that. I know we have to do another session though because we touched on so many different things about personality, a lot of different things about emotion, a lot of things about just being comfortable within yourself as well. So keep your calendar open because I'm gonna be reaching out and we're gonna have another conversation for sure.
I'm here for it, and I totally agree. There were a lot of moments where I was like, oh man, we could go there more.
Yeah.
We'll do that another time. And I love your perspective and your respect and care for the people that in your circle. And thank you for inviting me and making me feel so wonderful and lovely. And keep up the good work.
I appreciate you, my friend. You guys be good. If you found some value in this, please let me know. If you didn't find any value, still let me know, right? Again, we do this for the community and want to make sure that it resonates with you. So that being said, go enjoy the rest of your night. You guys take care of yourself. We out.